Liling, first of all, tell us the core items of the latest resolution. And in terms of sanctions, could we see that this round is much tougher than those previous rounds?
Yes, I think that would be a correct assumption to make. This round of sanctions is considerably more restrictive, and like previous rounds of sanctions, it does target the import and exports of the DPRK. So let's start with imports first. Now, this resolution effectively caps the import of refined petroleum products to the DPRK and to the DPRK at 500,000 barrels a year. Now, that volume is a fraction of the amount that the previous resolution had imposed on the DPRK back in September. After the DPRK had conducted that hydrogen bomb test, the Security Council imposed a cap of 2 million barrels a year, and now it is 500,000 barrels. So it is a considerable cut. Now, as for crude oil imports, that the Security Council resolution has capped that at 4 million barrels. Now, this doesn't actually reduce the volume. What it does is it maintains it at current levels based on estimations for this year. So keeping that level at 4 million barrels a year for the next year, and then possibly the year after that as well. Now, let's talk about exports. Up until this point, the Security Council sanctions have imposed bans on the export from the DPRK of items including seafood, textiles, iron, and coal. But now this resolution expands it to cover other areas, other products, including agricultural products, food products, machines used in the minerals industry, as well as electrical equipment. So it does, the point is to choke or disable the ability of the DPRK to divert resources to its missile and nuclear program, or to generate revenue from exports that it can then divert to its nuclear and missile programs. Now, this is U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, speaking to the Council after the vote. Have a listen.
The Kim regime continues to defy the resolutions of this Council, the norms of civilized behavior, and the patience of the international community. And should the North Korean regime conduct another nuclear or ballistic missile test, this resolution commits the Security Council to take even further action. It sends the unambiguous message to Pyongyang that further defiance will invite further punishment and isolation.